Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What if one sentence could reopen a door we thought was closed forever? After years of silence, distance, and endless speculation, Xiao Zhan has broken that silence with a single, heartfelt confession that's now echoing across the globe. And the name he spoke? Wong Iba. This wasn't just a tribute. It was a spark, igniting something fans have long hoped for. Is the legendary BoXiao duo about to reunite? It began as a quiet moment, one question in a routine interview, delivered without fanfare. The setting was simple, the tone casual, but the answer would send waves through fandoms across the world. When asked who had left the greatest mark on his journey as an actor, Xiao Zhan didn't hesitate. His eyes softened, his voice lowered, and the name he spoke carried the weight of unspoken years. Wong Iba. To those watching, time seemed to pause. The world around the words fell silent, and in that silence was something powerful, an emotional charge that few moments in entertainment ever achieve. Xiao Zhan didn't speak in soundbites or rehearsed praise. Instead, his words unfolded slowly, almost reverently, like he was revisiting a part of himself that had been buried in time. He didn't call Wang Yibo just a co-star or a collaborator. He called him a turning point. "The Untamed changed my life," he said, his gaze distant but warm. "But I couldn't have walked that path without him. He wasn't just there beside me, he pushed me, steadied me, and showed me a different kind of strength. There were moments I doubted myself. He made me braver." It was more than a professional tribute. It was something deeper, intimate, unguarded. Xiao Zhan's voice carried a tremor, not of weakness, but of vulnerability. The kind of vulnerability that comes from remembering someone who truly mattered. In a world where celebrity interactions are often filtered and polished, his honesty felt rare, almost startling. And yet, this was not a moment of indulgence or nostalgia. It was a bridge, one built quietly, intentionally, and with care. Fans who had followed their journey since 2019 felt it instantly. This wasn't about reviving an old fantasy. It was about confirming a truth they had long suspected, that the bond between Xiao Zhan and Wong Iba was real. Maybe it had changed. Maybe it had grown quiet, but it had never disappeared. What made this confession so striking wasn't just the words. It was the way they were spoken. Measured, thoughtful, grateful. It wasn't about the spotlight nor a publicity stunt. Felt like a gift, a moment offered with sincerity, knowing full well how much it would mean to millions who had watched their story unfold, who had hoped, quietly, patiently, for something like this. Xiao Zhan didn't just remind the world of where he came from. He reminded us all that some connections, even in silence, endure. And in doing so, he gave voice to something universal. That behind every great story, there are people who shape us in ways we may not fully understand until much later. For fans across the globe, that moment wasn't just a confession. It was a homecoming. What began as a simple interview response quickly transformed into a tidal wave of global emotion. Within minutes of Xiao Zhan's heartfelt confession, fans across continents felt something stir, something they hadn't felt in years. A dormant flame had been relit, and with it came the unmistakable energy of a fandom reawakening. It started quietly. A few posts, screenshots, translated quotes, shared by longtime fans who had held onto their memories of BoXiao like fragile keepsakes. But then came the hashtags. Then the tributes. Then the full-force momentum of a community that had never truly gone silent, only paused, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Social media platforms were flooded with emotion. On Twitter, fans wrote threads recalling the first time they saw Xiao Zhan and Wong Iba on screen together, how that chemistry had left an imprint far beyond fiction. On Instagram, artwork appeared, portraits painted with delicate brushstrokes, capturing moments of connection between the two that still lived vividly in the hearts of millions. TikTok lit up with montages, blending old footage with Xiao Zhan's recent words, set to music that only heightened the sense of longing, of return. But this resurgence was not just nostalgic, it was purposeful. Fans began organizing, mobilizing, creating. A letter campaign was launched to production houses, urging them to consider a reunion project. In cities like Bangkok, Seoul, and Paris, LED billboards displayed messages of support. In Southeast Asia, fan clubs pooled funds to create scholarship donations in the name of BoXiao, transforming admiration into meaningful impact. What made this wave so powerful was its sincerity. This wasn't about reviving a trend or chasing a fleeting moment. It was about honoring a bond that had touched people deeply, across languages, across time zones, across generations. For many, Xiao Zhan's words unlocked something personal, something that reminded them why they loved these two men, not just as celebrities, but as symbols of growth, resilience, and quiet companionship. In the days that followed, the energy only grew stronger. But it wasn't chaotic. It was unified. It was emotional. And above all, it was hopeful. Because what Xiao Zhan gave the world with his confession wasn't just a glimpse into his past. It was permission for fans to believe again. And when belief returns, it brings with it the power to move mountains. While Xiao Zhan's confession captured the world's attention with its openness and clarity, what followed was even more striking in its contrast. Wong Iba did not respond with fanfare. There was no interview, no direct mention, no public statement tying him to Xiao Zhan's words. Instead, he did what he has always done, he spoke through silence. And in that silence, something powerful was heard. Just hours after Xiao Zhan's interview aired, Wong Iba posted a short, poetic message on his Weibo account. Sometimes, the most meaningful things don't need to be explained. It was just one sentence. No context, no clarification. But for those who knew them, for those who had followed their journey, it felt anything but random. It was a whisper in a world full of noise. And it said more than any formal response ever could. To many, this was Wang Yibo in his truest form. Reserved, introspective, yet never indifferent. He has always been someone who values presence over performance, connection over commentary. His silence is never empty. It is full of intent. So, when he chose those particular words and offered them without explanation, it was as if he was quietly reaching back, acknowledging what had been shared, not with spectacle, but with sincerity. The timing, the tone, and the message itself were not lost on his fans, nor on the wider community still reeling from Xiao Zhan's emotional honesty. Interpretations varied, but one thread remained constant. This was not a denial. If anything, it was a confirmation, not of facts or rumors, but of emotion, of respect, of memory, and perhaps of something still unspoken between them. In a culture often saturated by over-explaining, where every moment is dissected for meaning, Wang Yibo's approach felt refreshingly honest. He didn't feed the hype. He didn't capitalize on the moment. Instead, he honored it in his own quiet way. And in doing so, he gave his fans permission to feel, to reflect, and to hope without needing everything spelled out. Sometimes, the deepest connections are the ones least displayed. And in that stillness, in that carefully chosen silence, Wang Yibo reminded the world that not all responses require volume. Some just need presence. And in this case, that presence, however quiet, spoke volumes. Entertainment insiders are already buzzing. One former drama producer who worked with both actors recently hinted, "There's a script on my desk. I've just been waiting for the right moment." Tencent Video added fuel to the fire by reposting an old BoXiao behind-the-scenes clip with the cryptic caption, "The past never truly leaves us." Even streaming platforms like iQIYI and Netflix are being tagged by fans en masse, urging them to bankroll a BoXiao reunion film or miniseries. This isn't just about nostalgia. This is about emotional closure, human connection, the belief that something once meaningful can be meaningful again. In a world that moves too fast, Xiao Zhan's vulnerability felt timeless. For many, his words were a reminder that artistry, friendship, and respect can transcend silence, time, and distance. Some fans have launched new initiatives. BoXiao Unity Playlist, a music compilation curated by global fans reflecting the emotional journey of their bond. Letters to the Future project, fans writing heartfelt messages they'd want Xiao Zhan and Wong Iba to read, compiled into a digital time capsule. Global BoXiao Day, a proposed annual celebration where fans across the world share art, stories, and charitable causes inspired by the duo. These aren't just fandom efforts. They're testaments to how storytelling connects lives across oceans and languages. We don't yet know if this will lead to a new drama, a joint performance, or even a single frame shared on screen. But one thing is certain, BoXiao was never just a trend, it's a legacy. And legacies? They don't fade. They evolve, they wait, and sometimes they return when the time is right. If this moment touched you, if you felt something stir when Xiao Zhan spoke those words, you're not alone. Speech Balloon, tell us in the comments. Do you believe this is the beginning of a reunion? Or just a beautiful moment of closure? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest stories in Asian entertainment and celebrity culture. Only here on K-Star Insider. Globe showing Europe, Africa, we see you. We hear you. And just like you, we'll never stop believing. BoXiao forever.